Do we have taglines?
We do.
Oh, okay, good.
We have some. It's an interesting day, honestly. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way.
Yeah.
I know, right? Like, once again, our tradition of holiday-themed things, holiday horror, I like to call it, right?
Yeah.
Is once again taking place. So, here we go. Here's your taglines. Your luck just ran out.
Oh.
Because you purchased this movie.
Yeah. Whoops, you gotta watch it.
Right? Okay. The luck of the Irish just ran out.
Are they trying?
No, I don't think they're trying.
Okay. Well, that's a huge problem.
Because, are you ready?
Yeah.
Your luck just ran out.
Like the third one was just the first one?
I swear, look.
Oh my god. Your luck just ran out.
Right?
Her luck just ran out. Oh, that's the difference.
Right.
Well, these aren't so lucky.
It couldn't have been something like, there's no gold at the end of this rainbow.
Yeah.
Like, anything could have been better.
The shoes will shine, but your blood will...
Oh, the shoes shining.
Weak. I don't know. God, how stupid it is.
Right?
Here's a thing for feet.
You've got a little problem. Right?
That's what it should have been.
So, with a budget of $900,000, a gross of $2.4 million, 4 deaths, 4 leprechaun bites, 1 death by pogo stick punctures, 1 broken neck, 1 leg in a bear trap, 1 severed crawling hand, 1 billy club to the eye, 1 eyeball rip out, and 1 melting leprechaun, with a 4.7 on IMDb and a 23% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 1993's Leprechaun. Let's drop some bombs.
Can I have your attention, please? This is not a drill. This is a nuclear emergency.
We mutated, and my wheelchair is illogically mutated too. And I think I can feel my legs.
April Fool. I got duck rape. What do we have to be afraid of?
I'm Papa, the Phil.
This machine just called me an asshole.
Fuck you, Lucky Charms.
Welcome to Bombs Away, the only podcast recorded inside a projection booth. My name is Jonathan Young. Joining me in the studio, as always, is...
the human embodiment of envy for Jennifer Aniston's legs.
Oh,
Jarett Seifert.
And they're there the entire
They
film.
are in the ugliest shorts.
And this movie, also, guys, sponsored by LA Gear. LA Gear, when you want to make sure that everybody knows it's the 90s. LA
And
Gear.
your shoes are made of cows.
That's right. Yeah, you see these? You don't eat meat? Fuck you. These are cows. These are cows, too.
Rips her leg off, and she's
Right?
like, hey, put that back.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to
right.
come to dinner soon.
Hey, I thought you were touching me earlier, and I liked it. Now I don't.
So I totally made a mistake.
Yeah.
And I think it was on the shorties. I thought that one of the uncles from Full House was in this, and I thought he was the idiot that ate the coin.
Oh.
But it turns out it's a totally different idiot.
No, this is the actor that played Francis on Pee-wee, the movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's Francis, the guy that originally stole Pee-wee's bike and sent it around the country. He's also, what is funny to me is that he is also Gacy in the Gacy film, John Gacy. So it's like, all I see is a murdering, possibly, like, special man.
Yeah.
Just like he plays right here, right? The overalls really do it in this film.
Yeah.
And his creepy, like, animal print shirt or anything. I don't
That
know.
wasn't an animal print shirt.
Or whatever it was. It was
It was-
toys.
It was paintbrushes.
Was it really?
Yeah. Because
Well,
I thought it actually fit really well because there was, like, 3 guys who paint.
That-
and
yeah,
it, like,
he also-
his shirt was just paintbrushes.
He also clearly named the company.
Yeah.
They were like, we need to think of a name. How about we guys that paint?
I just love that
He
they're
doesn't
like,
even talk that bad.
We're working all day but can't get one window shutter done. There
Also-
are 5 people working on that house at one point, and they didn't fully finish anything at all.
Also,
for the
I
entire
feel like
day.
the Toy Story Land Imagineers were designing the paint scheme of this house. They're like, let's do a hospital blue, and then the shutters are going to be red, but inside it's going to look like Aztec wallpaper.
Yeah, like, and at one point, some of the wallpaper will probably look a little bit like Art Nuevo or something. Like,
it's all over the
I was
place.
like, what
and lots of spider webs.
happened?
We have
Yeah.
lots of obvious prop spider webs,
oh yeah.
you know?
So we
yes.
start out our movie.
Yeah, no.
I was like, I don't know how to start. I forgot how we started podcasts.
I mean, we're at a very nice pace where we just kind of just flow,
Yeah.
you know. So, the movie itself wastes no time showing the antagonist. It's like usually horror movies are like, it's we're gonna wait and we're gonna hold on the monster or but this one's like, it's the leprechaun and there's the leprechaun.
Yeah.
We're good now, right? Like,
We've got it.
Yeah.
We know what we're in for.
right? So it shows
Titular
him
character.
with his pot of gold. But this scene doesn't really apply to the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and I actually I watched like a second of it, but then I accidentally skipped ahead and just got right to the point where the Dan O'Leary,
Yeah.
is that his name? Dan O something.
Oh, you mean the old guy from the
Yeah,
beginning?
The old guy at the beginning. I skipped at I saw the leprechaun petting his gold.
It's O'Grady.
O'Grady.
Yeah.
But oh great.
Oh,
Dude.
great.
But I saw the leprechaun pet his gold, and then I accidentally hit the remote, and it just jumped ahead to him coming home, and I was like, well, that's probably about all it is.
No,
And I wasn't wrong.
No, nothing happened.
No.
No. It basically, the credits roll up as a limousine comes into this farmstead, and then he gets out after chugging an entire bottle of Jameson, apparently.
Yeah.
Right? Also sponsored by
And
Jameson.
His wife is just watching him on the porch like, what happened?
And they're, to quote a phrase from you, they're violently Irish.
Yeah.
For no reason, too. Because
know.
it does not apply for them to be Irish
So-
in the plot.
They're in South Dakota.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
For sure? Or
Because
you
Jennifer
just-
Aniston at the start goes, wow, New Mexico's really weird. And he goes, this is South Dakota. I'm pretty sure they say
right?
South Dakota.
I thought the Rocky
He
Mountains
says,
would be
like-
a little rockier.
Yeah.
John Denver's full of shit,
She says
man.
something completely wrong, and he's like, that's because we're not there. She's like, wow, this is really weird for this place. Yeah.
Okay. I missed that one.
Yeah. And then, so the guy rolls up. He's violently Irish.
Yep.
And his wife's like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, the gold. I don't
Right.
know.
So what's with the limousine now?
Something about
That's
an
not
urn
I'm
or
sorry.
ashes?
I'm not going to be able to pull
Yeah,
this.
we can't.
It doesn't matter because these Irish accents go away in this scene.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's
They
fine.
never come back.
I don't even feel like O'Grady at the end of the movie has an Irish accent as he's dying.
Yeah.
Like,
He's just like, let me die. Sorry. Okay,
so, yeah, they're clearly lower income
Yeah.
couple on a farm, and he just shows up in a nice new suit and just freely kind of chugging Jameson like it's nothing, and got a limousine and a driver, and he's like, I found a leprechaun and I found his pot of gold. I made him show me where the pot of gold is. Meanwhile, I'm not sure how that happened for him, because the leprechaun that we see through this movie seems, you can't even shoot him in the face without him just being like, we're good here.
The leprechaun is essentially immortal unless
What
you
are the
use
rules of a
four-leaf clover.
leprechaun?
See, I
Because-
think this movie didn't really know the rules, and I don't think any rules actually existed. So they were like, "Well, I guess we got to make up our own."
Yeah, right?
Because apparently the rules of a leprechaun are invincible, can teleport,
Has telekinesis.
Yes, can change their voice,
Yep.
and
Can throw their voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is allergic to a 4-leaf clover.
Right. Yeah, violently allergic.
Yeah. If it sits on top of a box, they can't move the top of the box, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Basically a 4-leaf clover to a leprechaun is like Thor's hammer. Like if you put Thor's hammer like on a toilet seat, you're not going to be able to lift the toilet seat.
Yeah. He's like, I got to go to the bathroom. Come on. Get it off there.
No.
Christ.
Right? Just puts it in his shoe. It's like lead weight. Ah, no, why'd you put it in my shoe? So, yeah, now in the movie, he pretty much is like, oh, I found this pot of gold, and we're gonna be rich. We're taken care of. It's fine. And he basically sent.
He tricked the leprechaun to get his gold
somehow. I guess it's not important. But either way, he sent the gold over in his mother's urn that he went to Ireland to go, and so that's what happened. That's why he was in Ireland to catch the leprechaun in the first place. Is he was burying his mother back at her birth site or something. And
birth site. I'm sorry. Could you please leave your house? I have to bury my mom under that bed where she was born.
Right.
This is. It's all for you, mother.
So, not only has he taken the gold, but now he's hidden it somewhere on the property, and the leprechaun just shows up, right? Because he either was, stowed away in the guy's luggage the whole time.
Pretending to be a child.
Right? Or he has teleported. Now, he keeps mentioning that his powers have diminished because he doesn't have his gold. So, one can assume that he didn't teleport into the suitcase. He probably was there the whole time.
Yes.
Right? Now, this is another weird thing, though, because it's like, if he caught a leprechaun, that's it. You just give him your gold, right? How does that work? The leprechaun doesn't be like, oh, you caught me, here it is, and now I'm gonna fucking kill you later. That's not a part of the thing that I remember.
Yeah.
Right? But that's how it is in this movie. Anybody who has the gold. Also, he needs every piece like it's the Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yeah. He's like, I need one more bag.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down.
One more is never gonna be enough for you, is it,
Well,
leprechaun?
maybe it's it's his fear of the knowledge of his existence. Because
I don't feel like he fears that. He's driving around town in a go-kart.
Yeah, he really doesn't try to protect who he is at all.
No.
But he does protect himself by just killing anyone that sees him. So
right.
That's pretty good.
I feel like he's baiting people.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, come and find me, and I'm going to snap your neck. It's fine.
So the leprechaun surprises the wife of Dan.
Yeah,
and
he's pretending to be a child's voice inside the suitcase, and she opens the suitcase, and boom, he pops out.
Yeah.
And then
she's like, ah! And
right?
then just backs up down the stairs, but dies.
Oh, yeah. She
kills
does
herself.
A Matrix move down the stairs.
Yeah. She's dead because of her own dummy head.
Yeah. Snaps her neck as she falls down the stairs, and then she's dead. And then O'Grady comes home and is like, the leprechaun has made him tea.
Well, so she was going to make him
right.
tea because she was like, you're crazy. And he ran off to bury his gold or hide it before the leprechaun finds it.
Right.
And then, the leprechaun grabs the tea and the Dan is like, where are you, honey? He's like, oh, I'm down here.
Yeah.
He's pretending to be his wife.
You do all accents
voice.
this one. I can't. It's decent.
And
I can't do it.
He's walking in with the tea, but the tea is constantly steaming. He's like, that's a great effect.
Yeah.
Really warm tea. And, the Dan, I guess, then runs around and goes into the basement to find his wife dead, but the leprechaun is using
like a puppet,
her head like a puppet, and just throwing his voice, and is like, it'll all be okay.
Yeah.
Just give me the gold back. And then somehow the leprechaun goes in a box. Oh, he's holding a leaf. A 4-leaf clover.
Yes. So
He's holding a
O'Grady
maple leaf.
is holding a 4-leaf clover. Now, O'Grady must be like the luckiest drunk son of a bitch on the planet, because not only did he find a leprechaun and it's gold, but he also has a patch of 4-leaf clovers growing in his farm.
That's constantly lit up by some green gel lighting.
It's like always lit.
Always.
Well, I mean,
there are like 2 instances in this movie where it's like, we gotta put the color green somewhere.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they just got like a green light and like shot it like it's at the well and then on the clover patch are like the only 2 green light sources. Constantly on.
Constantly. No, it is. Well, when you become rich, you need to highlight what it is that makes you rich. So like you just buy green gels in this instance. You're like, I gotta make sure people know that I'm lucky.
If you don't know, a gel is a plastic piece of paper that goes over a light to make it look like the light is green.
Yeah.
And it's not actually
we use
changing,
LEDs now.
I know. But it's actually the cool thing about them is it's not actually changing the color of the light. It's what it's doing is filtering out all of the other colors and only letting the colors of green from the light source come through. That's so cool. Sorry, I went to school for lighting, so I just got a little hard.
Sponsored by LA Gears Light Up Shoes.
Yeah.
LA Gears Light Up Shoes when you don't know how to play basketball in the dark.
Or just don't know how to play basketball.
Yeah, right. Look at me. Ping, ping, ping.
I was talking to my coworker the other day, and I was like, oh my God, you were a forward in basketball? I was too. It was basically like throw the basketball and like have someone else take it. And he was like, yeah. I was like, we're both really gay.
You shoot.
Yeah.
It's all you.
Don't give them the ball.
It's all you, Jarett. I can't.
I don't have any upper arm strength.
Shoot it. It's like clock down to 0. It's out of your hands, and then it's like, wah, wah.
Yeah. It's like, brrr, and I'm still holding the ball, just staring, and they're like, why didn't you throw it?
Right?
I'm like, what?
It's like most people would be like spinning around the rim about to go in. After the buzzer, you're just like, I'm sorry. Somebody's
Drop the
tackled you.
basketball.
It's not even that sport. Anyway.
I'm holding a football instead of actually. I'm like, whoa.
Wrong.
This is weird.
You got a ping pong paddle.
Here's the golf club. Jeez, this is bad. What's happening? I don't know. Leprechauns.
So O'Grady has a 4-leaf clover, and he's using it like a shield in a way. Like he's like, back!
Or like a cross.
Yeah, that thing.
For a vampire.
Yeah. He's like, back, foul leprechaun.
Or a chair if you're a lion.
Oh.
Why are lions so afraid of chairs? Like, what? Oh, they had a really big fear of, like, circus chairs or stools.
They can't deal with chairs.
The lions are just like, oh, no, don't even.
Put me on a pedestal, but not a chair.
I see that stool has 4 legs. That looks unstable.
Okay, so he's like,
Nonsense.
back into the crate, and he puts the 4-leaf clover on the crate, and apparently that is enough for the leprechaun to be like, I can't get out of the crate. He nails it shut just for good measure, and that's it.
10 years later.
He goes upstairs. He's going to burn down the house.
Well, yeah.
Right? He's poured gasoline all over the house. He's going to burn it down, and then has a heart attack.
He has a stroke.
Or something.
He has a stroke.
Right?
It's not or something. It's a stroke.
Either way, like, this is a long...
He does clutch his heart,
yeah.
but, like, it's, I guess, a blood clot, like, formed in his heart and went somewhere. I don't know.
Either way, this was a long sequence. Like,
yeah.
it's slow.
He's like, I gotta match.
I feel as watching this, I felt as, like, slow and sweaty as he was getting. Like, I was just like... Get on with it.
Yeah.
Like this.
Well, that's kind of the entire movie. The rest of the movie takes place over the course of an afternoon and an evening.
Like maybe
4
hours.
Yeah, but like it literally just like you could blast through it and be like, the dad gets bit, he's never seen again. Mm-hmm. They find gold, idiot eats gold.
Oh, that's right. There was like maybe 2 episodes where we were doing like 60-second synopsises.
Oh my god!
Remember that?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, what happened there?
I don't know. I don't do well under pressure of times.
We'll bring it back.
Yeah.
Not this.
Explain everything. Hurry, go.
We're past that.
But yeah, it's like dad gets bit. You never see him again. Jennifer Aniston. She flirts. She actually does. They don't flirt a lot.
No.
I'm really kind of proud of that.
Yeah.
Because like it starts off like it's not like really specifically her being like, I'll stay because you're cute. Like there's a little bit of it
but
hinted.
I mean so like immediately as she sees like hairdo McSleeveless, like she's in, so.
But I just want to talk about like stupid minor stuff because it's actually like I love the movie. I remember watching it as a kid. And
I've
being
never
like, this
seen
is great.
it. I'm surprised I never did.
I got a lot of it mixed up. I feel like I'm more of a horror person, and you're more of a
random 80s.
Yeah. I literally was like 80s. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this film, I remember watching it as a kid, and it didn't scare me that much, which is surprising because usually they scared me a lot. But I was like, oh, cool.
There is a reason why it did not scare you as much as it should have. Okay, so according to Warwick Davis,
I just walked right into it. That was like, it seemed like a really great setup.
I know,
and
right?
I just want everyone to know, I have no idea what's going on right now.
Yeah, I know, there wasn't.
Who's Warwick?
He's Warwick Davis
Leprechaun.
is the Leprechaun, right? He's also the main Ewok in Return of the Jedi, Wicket, and he's also Willow, the title character of Willow. So,
and he was in Tiptoes.
He should have been.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, he wasn't.
That was a missed opportunity for Warwick.
Well, was it? Was it, though?
Yeah, never
Warwick
mind.
was also in that.
They probably were like, Warwick, we want you to be the titular character. And he was like, I've read the script. I'm going to be sick that day.
Guys,
I'm filming Leprechaun 8.
And I've already done something very degrading to little people, like 5 movies worth. Like, we're okay.
They're asking me to do Leprechaun Origins. All right? I don't want to do this.
Sorry, I'm
booked.
But
I do kind of want to watch Leprechaun Origins now.
I kind of want to. Well, of course, the one that's going to be good, the one that I assume will eventually probably do live one day is In the Hood.
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Oh,
Whoa.
Why? I don't edit these
stop
things.
myself.
Why do
I don't know.
this?
I was like, Leprechaun in the... The demon inside me.
But
yeah,
also,
but it's the whole movie to me is very slow. But so Warwick said it wasn't that scary because
Life's Too Short. That's the one with Ricky Gervais as well. That like he's in. I think it was on HBO.
Okay.
But yeah.
But
anyway.
what did he say about this movie?
Oh, that's right. Well, you're the one who went on an additional tangent off of mine. So he said, according to Warwick Davis, the movie was originally planned as a scary kids film.
Ooh, like an Ernest Scared Stupid. I can
guess
see
so,
it.
Right? But the studio thought it would work better as a more adult horror, so all the inserts of violence were filmed later to increase the gore and violence.
Okay.
So, like, him picking the eyeball out and, like, stuff like that, that was all later. And that makes a lot of sense, too, because, like, he doesn't necessarily...
It's very kind of campy.
Right? And he doesn't necessarily say any lines that are, like I'm going to kill you. Or any. Actually, he doesn't say any catchphrases. Like, the only catchphrase from this movie is from the kid at the end.
The Leprechaun, he has some lines that are decent, but I just don't remember them because they're not actually decent.
Right.
He's got lines, but they're all like...
I feel like the movie's going
these
forward.
Are disgusting.
Right.
When he eats the Lucky Charms. Like, okay, cool.
I feel like going forward in the other movies, once they established what this franchise was going to be... That's where we're gonna get like more lines, like probably where they went for the camp even more, But I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see then.
So now we're established. Like he has a stroke, and then it's years later.
Oh gosh, yeah, 10 years later. So we've got Jennifer Aniston and her dad. They're out in a red Jeep, and she does say she's like,
the New Mexico thing
she's
again?
Like, New Mexico looks terrible, but they're in North Dakota. He's like,
right.
It's because we're in North Dakota. And then he pulls up to a house, and it's the classic, like, she's like, I'd rather be in L.A.
Okay.
Wow.
This is what I wrote down. I was like, wow, what a stretch of a character for Jennifer Aniston in this movie. Like, she's just playing Rachel. This is like what happened to Rachel before she showed up in a wedding dress in the first episode of Friends.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And she never talks about
it. It's the prequel to Friends.
Right?
She was like, I just blocked it out of my memory because I didn't want to remember.
Yeah.
Which is probably why people block things out of their memory.
I had to look up her character name because I don't remember it
Tori?
at all. I didn't hear it. To me, I didn't hear it, but
I think he says it like once or twice.
Okay. So, Tori and her father right? Which, so glad they finally established as their father, because he keeps calling her honey.
Her dad
so creepily.
is kind of hot in like an older man way.
But I didn't know it was her dad. I thought he was just an older man, like boyfriend.
Like right at the start, like somewhere she's like, Dad, I don't want to do this for my summer. They don't establish her age, which also kind of weirds me out.
Okay.
And also she has a lot of money, which I also don't understand. But also, why is her dad not in LA with her if he's making her spend a... There's not a... I don't...
They don't
know what's happening.
Because they don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like get to the leprechaun in this movie, right? But I didn't hear her say dad until later in the basement. Like, she said something about dad. It was about the spider. She said dad when she saw that spider. And then I was like, oh, finally. Because he doesn't address her by Tori throughout this whole introduction. He's like, honey, if you want to go, we can just go. You know, like, honey. Yeah. I'm like, that's... like husband and wife talk. Like, that's weird, right? And then to hear dad, you're like, that's even weirder now.
Oh no, it's a daddy situation.
Right? So she runs out. She's like, you know what? I'm done. Like, spider webs and everything else. This place is shit, right? And then she sees meat hairdo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just have all these, like, he is like hunk of hunk, right?
It reminds me of that episode of Mystery Science Theater.
Oh yeah, Space Mutiny.
Beef McLargeface.
Brick, Brick Hanson.
Chunk Mick Punch Smash.
But that's what because he's wearing, all right, he goes, what's it called? He
Sound it out.
I know, right? He comes up to her and is like, "Oh, I'm just here painting the house." And I'm like, "Did you also paint your shirt?" Because
so she runs out. He's holding a bucket, and she like knocks into him, and he goes, "Oh, my paint thinner! You made me spill it." And she's like, "Here's $20.
Oh,
you think $20 is gonna make up for spilled paint thinner? Here's an extra 20. I don't want money for my paint thinner.
So what is it?
I want an apology."
Oh,
like,
did
is
he
that
say
like
apology?
that's literally what he's like? I don't want your money. I want you to say sorry.
Yeah, but he doesn't
and
say
she
I
still
want you to
looks
say
at him,
sorry.
and
Like,
she
he just kind of like implies he's like, money isn't going to fix this problem or something.
No, he says
right?
like, you should have given me an apology
Oh,
instead.
okay.
And she just like,
God, I
she's
must
like,
have tuned out more than I thought.
I know, you weren't there for this. But then she's just like, well, here's $40.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then somehow he convinces her to stay because like, it's not that bad. Just live it up. Look at my arms.
Right.
They're pretty okayly defined.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay.
Right.
Cool.
So she is a very, like I said, she's very Rachel-esque, but like Rachel before she was endearing in the show, right? But her character doesn't change or morph into anything else. Like, she stays stagnant through this whole thing.
Well, her character in this movie, like, very quickly adapts to like, I'm here now instead of going home.
Yeah.
Like, she was adamant
she's
about
a horrible final girl.
Yeah, she's got a cell phone and she's like tries to call to make a reservation at a like hotel in town, but like her cell phone's spotty service. Would you think it's gonna come back? But literally, what happens later is her cell phone just dies.
Right.
Not even like the spotty service. It's like, okay, then why did you establish that there's spotty service up there?
Right.
Stupid.
Because it doesn't quite matter later. Because
also it's 1993, so they're like, how do cell phones work? We don't know. Just make the battery die.
Yeah, because that's the thing is like even in the chance that it is spotty service, she does wind up getting her entire message out to the police station of like, please come send help.
Yeah.
Right before it dies. So you're like, all right, well, mission accomplished. Even if it did die, like we're fine. Like these kind of things.
It doesn't.
Huh? I know, because of something else, right? But it's like, don't even establish that you have spotty service or anything.
Yeah.
Or like, just,
it's like,
you didn't even have to have the battery die. Like the phone, she could have been like, all right, they're on their way. And
they
that's
could have
it.
still used the normal house phone.
Yeah. Right? Well, because the normal house phone, even when ripped off the wall, still rings.
That's Leprechaun magic.
I know.
They can, they also have pretty good wireless.
Yeah.
The other Leprechaun bonus.
So,
AT&T on weekends. Roaming's free. Their coverage plans are great. I looked
in
at them for
Dakota,
a bit,
I'm sure.
but then I got taller than 5'3", so I couldn't do it. I wasn't in the height range for the Leprechaun cell plan.
Okay, so...
But you know who has a really good... I'm kidding. I was like, what if I just somberly went
kept
on?
Going. Like, stop. So now we're introduced to Alex, who is dressed like he's about to attend a Quidditch match. And
I hate
He's like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid.
In movies, I hate kids that are too smart and adults that are too dumb.
Mhm.
And they
And you have
decided
them both.
to have them pair up. And then instead of, because usually it's a big issue in movies where it's like an adult telling a kid, like, let's keep a secret. But in this film, it's the child turning to like multiple different adults at points being like, we need to keep this a secret between just us. Isn't that right?
I know.
You and me.
Right?
And I was like, that kid is molesting other people.
He's the one
I was
molesting.
like, oh.
Right?
No.
So this movie and this character of Alex, the kid, and his special sidekick, Ozzy, right, who's dressed in overalls and he's in like we mentioned before, some painting
it's like a red button up with like paintbrush decals all over.
It's made out of fabric that you see at the discount rack of Joann Fabrics at all times.
I love that rack.
It's like the characters for bed sheets and stuff. That's what that
like
is.
Shitty thin fabric.
And so he's dressed that way. And this is what's interesting to me. You ever seen it's horror, so like could be a stab that you've actually seen it. 1985, they've made like 4 of them now or 5. Critters.
Yes.
Little space like hedgehogs that shoot quills into you, right, and eat you. Critters has the same dynamic duo of kid and special farmhand, right? Where that guy is not as
Was
special.
it a right or left?
Huh?
A right or left?
For
the special farmhand?
Oh, I know. Like, no, as you said it, I was like, you're slowly stabbing me in the heart of that joke. I was like, oh, God, it's bad.
The other day, someone was like, yeah, I flew in. And I go, do your arms hurt? And they go, I typed that out, but then I deleted it because it sounded stupid. And I was like, well, I went there.
Right. So after this, what I'm saying is that, like, this is the same thing. They copied Critters down to the fact that this Alex kid and the kid from Critters both use slingshots to defeat the final enemy, and the slow guy kind of he's running around like trying to save the day with his own ideas, and it's not quite working, or at least, Ozzy in this film kind of pitches things that people are like, no, that's not happening. But yeah, they copied it like down to the almost the costumes. I was just like,
Ooh.
all right, fine. So we're met with these 2 people, Alex and Ozzy, and then Ozzy gets paint, like basically paint.
I don't know if I blinked and missed something, but paint like fell all over Ozzy.
You don't see it, you hear it. Jennifer Aniston and
Jennifer Aniston was taking tea down to the basement or something. For her dad and the other sleeveless man.
Yeah.
And then like he throws a blanket on her head and is like, "Sorry, didn't see you down there."
Paint McPex is his name.
But then so they hear a crash, they run outside. Ozzy's covered in blue paint.
Right.
And
apparently Alex didn't hold the ladder steady for Ozzy up there, and paint fell down on him somehow. I don't know. But now he's just covered in blue hospital paint and has to go inside the wash up. While he goes inside the wash up, he hears like, "Help me" or something.
No, it's like Twinkle.
Oh yeah, he sings little. That's right.
Star.
Yeah.
And it's singing. And he goes downstairs and he's like, "Oh, this is weird." And he like brushes stuff off the top of the box, brushes off the 4-leaf clover that's
which is like dead. Yeah, right. And still has power though.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but also. Oh, that's the other thing. If the leprechaun is away from his gold coins, he loses power.
Right.
So even if the 4-leaf clover loses powers, I think the leprechaun's loss of powers also make it so it's
it's like inductive charging.
Yeah.
Like he has to be very close to them in order to charge his powers. Yeah. Because that's the thing is, like, your coins are on property, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not far.
Yeah. And also, I guess, if the clover is holding you in the crate, you can't teleport?
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of things just completely unexplained when it comes to his powers. Like, if you're going to establish a rule set of powers, it's the same thing. It's the same problem I recently had with like Last Jedi. I love Last Jedi, but they added some new like Jedi powers.
That stuff is in the Jedi handbook, like the official canon Jedi handbook.
No, what I meant is like in the movie. The Grand Supreme Leader Snoke is able to now like basically force slam your face into the ground from like galaxies away, right? He basically calls you up and is like, "What up?" And he's like, "What?" Slam. So
Sends
if he
a
can
tiny hand through the phone to push your head on the ground.
yeah, the little hand, right? Which is such
Need
a
a
nightmare
hand.
reference, by the way,
Yeah.
with the tongue. But yeah, if you're able to do that, why don't you just like call up Princess Leia and slam her face into the ground? Like it was things where it's like, well, if you can do that, or like
That wouldn't make the movie interesting.
I know, but
don't
the
know.
same kind of things
I don't
here
know.
is like if you're going to establish that the Leprechaun can do that and he has telekinesis, which he only uses once.
Yeah.
You know, like they set all these things up that don't either don't go anywhere or raise more questions than answers.
Yeah.
Right. So, he bursts out of the crate and introduces himself as the Leprechaun and like tells his whole story, like I need the gold and stuff like that. And
I'm
then,
gonna bite your ear off and make a shoe out of it.
yeah, he's got a huge biting problem in this movie.
He loves to bite and he loves cleaning shoes.
Which I thought was elves. I didn't.
Yeah.
Right, but they're more cobblers. They're
Or the old lady that lived in the shoe. That's the next horror movie.
Just a
The
suit-
old lady in the shoe.
Come here, kitties.
The old lady Elizabeth shoe.
I smell like feet. Yeah, that's his thing, and like both things, like I'm like I don't remember biting as a leprechaun-esque thing, but like, all right, fine, that's creepy. But the shoe thing, like, is that like little people type like things? Is like
don't
okay,
know.
the elves make the shoes, and then the leprechauns are the shoe cleaners,
Shiners
right?
and cleaners.
Right? Because I don't see any leprechauns at the airport when I go to
oh.
get my shoes cleaned, or at the courthouse, right? Which, why is that the two places that you get your shoes shined at, in like
courthouse, you gotta look
newsstands,
good.
courthouses,
Yeah.
and airports? That's it. Courthouse is the only one that kind of makes sense.
Maybe if like you have to get right off a plane and go to a business meeting, or if you're real fancy, you have a business meeting on the plane.
I would have it right there at the shoe shiner. Like you and me shining shoes. Not actually shining shoes, but we're getting it shined.
The only time someone's like, "Hey, you need your shoe shines?" I like looked down at my shoes and I was like, "These are Vans and cloth." No.
You ever done the guys that like the kiosks that like do the scrub brush and stuff?
No.
Like on your suede? It works. I bought it. It's good stuff. This is also sponsored by that shoe shine cleaner, apparently.
Shoes.
Right? LA
Oh my
Gear!
Yeah.
It's more LA Gear sponsorship.
So he, of course, runs outside and is like, a leprechaun. And they're
Did
like,
you notice Jen's shorts?
Yeah,
This
the
is where I
patchwork ones.
first actually saw them, is in this scene.
They're like made up of different pieces of fabric.
They're patchwork floral. I don't even know. It looks like she
Sexy.
basically tore a hole in her ass
Yeah.
and her crotch and just put patchwork all over it. They are.
Sometimes you just do a lot of activity. Wear
God.
your dreams out.
I just don't understand. Like the costuming is all over the place in this film.
Well, she was wearing a really cute dress at the start.
Right.
And then she changed to her painting clothes.
Right, and these shorts are ridiculous. The lead guy is wearing a plum sleeveless shirt with like a very Kurt Cobain shirt wrapped around his waist, like a plaid. That's what it is. That's hey, you wearing that Kurt Cobain shirt?
Oh my
You
God.
mean plaid?
A flannel shirt.
Yeah. And then we mentioned like Alex is wearing like a Quidditch match shirt, like like
Just red and yellow striped shirts.
Yep.
He's Gryffindor.
He's a Gryffindor, red and yellow. Yeah, red and yellow.
So Ozzy runs outside. He's like, leprechaun. And everyone's like, that's not that funny. They all go inside and they're freaking out. And they're like, oh, it's just a mouse. Ha, ha, ha. But also, like, everyone has little bits of blue paint all over their arms. Like
for the whole movie.
Yeah, like they couldn't figure out how to not get paint on their forearms, their shoulders, their elbows.
Right.
Like, messy painters. Then we,
So after this, basically Ozzy and Ozzy and Alex go, and they're just kind of walking around the property, and they stumble upon this old rundown truck, which he goes, "You think we can hotwire it?" I was like, this thing doesn't.
Dead.
This thing is rusted out, no wheels even. Like, why are you even?
It's this smart kid. Think we can hotwire it? Then Ozzy's like, well, the battery's probably dead.
Right? And I was
like, oh,
well, he's not that
okay,
dumb.
Yeah.
Right?
I was like, well, he's got some smarts.
And
they find
why
a gold
does the gold
coin.
disappear and reappear?
Trickery.
But
magic.
What? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's like, boom, here I am. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't a really good hiding spot at all. You could have at least buried it. But then he would have had pirates coming for him, I guess.
Then it turns into the pirate con.
And then he goes, now, here's the thing. Why does, especially because later on in the film, when Jennifer Aniston asks Alex why he hid the gold, and didn't tell them about it, he was like, we were going to use it for an apparition to make Ozzy smarter, right? And she goes, you can't do an operation to make people smarter. He's like, I know, but he doesn't know that. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, then why would you even use that as your excuse to her, for one? And then two, he's the one who pitches a smart operation right here. So is he just lying to Ozzy to be like, yeah, we're going to get you a smart operation, so don't tell anybody?
Probably.
Right? Because that's what it feels like.
And then he's going to use the gold for himself some later day.
Yeah.
So they
there you go.
They find the gold. They have conversation about getting Ozzy smarter, and they take one gold piece out of the bag, or they take two gold pieces out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
They hide the rest of the gold. Ozzy says, you can tell if it's real gold by biting it,
right?
And then swallows a full coin. And these are like larger than quarters but thinner,
right?
So I feel like that would cause a lot of issues inside of him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it
probably
hurt
should have
going
gone to
down.
the hospital.
Yeah.
Instead, we flash over to Jennifer Aniston getting taught how to paint.
Yep, and they're
by
flirty.
Biceps.
Yep.
And then they...
Bicep Bob.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to go do something over here. And she's like, I'll grab paint. And then she's like, you're rubbing my leg. And then she turns around and he's behind him. And she's like, what? And it's the leprechaun, but then he scratches her. And they're like, oh, it was just a cat. Hear that tiny cat meowing over there?
Right.
And it's like, the scratch marks, they're
giants.
Each scratch is like a full inch away from like the other ones, and there's 3 scratches.
Right, like a bobcat scratched you?
You know.
Like, but yeah.
And she's like, I know when a man is rubbing my leg. And the dad's like, oh, you do?
Yeah, he's like, you do?
So then like they hear like,
which is another question of how old she's supposed to be in this film.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you hear the meows, right? And the leprechaun is doing meows now. And
he's a really good cat impersonator.
For no reason. Like, he doesn't need to back up this cat theory. Like, just go away and let them be like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know? No, and so the dad's like, look, it's a cat. He's, like, right in this tree hole,
like,
right?
Sticks
Don't
his hand
stick
in a
your
tree
hand
trunk.
in a tree trunk.
I would be like, cat, you'll come out sometime.
I would never stick my hand in a tree trunk. Even if I heard nothing, I still would not stick my hand in a tree hole.
If I heard, no,
David the
nothing.
Gnome song?
No, there's nothing like that I could hear that would make me be like, oh, what's inside that hole?
No, because you know what I think when I think tree hole? Like, I think
spiders, angry animals,
foxes. Yeah, angry animals. Exactly, right? Raccoons. We've seen enough of these
things
films.
that are in those holes because they don't want a dirty hand sticking its hand in your face.
So Dad sticks his hand in, of course, and Leprechaun just bites it.
Chomp, chomp.
Right? And they're like, oh my god, the cat bit me. And I'm like, look at the bite mark and tell me that that's a cat.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a full human mouth, like, bite.
So they all pile in the pickup truck. It's quickly established that the pickup truck sometimes starts, sometimes doesn't.
Right.
And then they all pile in. They take Dad to the hospital.
Right.
Last we hear about Dad.
Sure.
He has to stay overnight for observation because his hand got bit. No, that's
also
stupid.
not a thing. Like, pretty sure that 9 times out of 10 you just dress that wound at home and just go about your day.
It was kind of a deep bite.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if also like rabies, if it's an animal bite. They would want to go in for some stuff, but like having a you never seeing the character again.
Yeah,
Like, no.
this is basically so that we can establish that this guy's done his day of filming. Because that's it. Dad's gone.
He's like, hey, I've got like a better film tomorrow. Can you just write me out of the script?
Right? Dad doesn't even like come back at the end to be like, get away from my daughter or anything. Like, she'll never know the touch of a leprechaun's hand.
So they send off Ozzy and Alex to meet him at a diner while they get like the dad checked in and settled, and they'll all do dinner. But Ozzy and Alex, they run off to the pawn shop right before it closes too. They're like, "Oh, don't close. We need your help. Is this a coin?" He's like,
"Yeah,
yep." And the guy's like, "Oh, I can't tell you much now. I need to like research some. Can I hold on to it for the night and then like come back tomorrow?" And they're like, "Yeah, of course." And he like starts opening up a book and reading about it. And, like, I thought this was going to come back later. Like, they go back to the shop for the gold coin the next day, and they can't find the guy, and he's dead. But, like, there's a book, and his glasses are on it, and the book page is dog-eared, and they're like, oh, this is how we win. Doesn't happen.
Nope.
The guy with the gold coin, was this guy wearing a fat suit? Did he have his clothing tatted?
Yeah, right?
He looked so disproportional.
He looked like he had, like, 2 pillows on either side of him. Not the fronts, just the side that made the rest of it kind of billow out, right?
He was like, well... I feel like I could do more with the character in this script. I feel like my character as the pawn shop owner really needs a disgusting kind of like mustache facial hair thing going on.
You guys know Chun-Li?
And a little bit of weight.
From Pawn Stars. You know that guy? Yeah. That's what I want. All right, cool. Well, God, but you look like Booger from Revenge of the Nerds. I know, like it's weird.
I'm just trying something new.
So, yeah, he goes to the book and he hears a tricycle bell, like ring, 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 and he's like, "What's that?" Right?
Circus is in town,
right? Kind of does a like double take, walks around the room, and is like, "Okay, that was weird." So, like, goes back to the safe, starts opening it up. Then a tricycle just plows into the back of him. Yeah, right. And he's like, "Oh!" Right? Takes like 2 more looks, and doesn't see anybody, and then decides to go back to the safe, like. Yeah. Tricycles just don't come out of nowhere. Like, this is stop opening the safe.
I couldn't tell if he didn't know his combination or if his combination is 8 different numbers that are all 2 numbers away, because it was like 62, 59, 65, 61, 73, 70. He's like just back and forth in that one
Why
set.
did I buy this safe?
I know. Jesus Christ.
And yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, if a tricycle hit you in the back and you knew that you were alone, like,
I would probably be like, something's on the other side of that room. Probably don't want to turn my back that direction.
Well, you wouldn't go back to the task at hand, right? Especially with a random, like, you knew that your shop didn't even have a tricycle, so
it could have. It had a tiny car.
It did have the tiny car, right? So. Either way, he opens the safe, and boom, out pops the leprechaun.
He's like, I want me gold!
Right? And you're like, okay, here we go. Finally, right? We're going to get into that kind of thing. He takes the 1 gold piece off of him that was given to him by Alex and proceeds to scratch his face.
Yeah.
Right? And then, like, as he's down for the count, he's like, we're going to have a little fun. And goes over to the pogo stick. And Pogo's
he like crushes him. Like,
what is even happening? And also, like, can't you just like get up? Like, just get up. Like, oh my God! And they actually show like a fixed, like the camera is fixed on the leprechaun in like some weird way that makes it look like visually he's bouncing on him, but it's so obviously like slow and fake, which is another thing. This film likes to speed up things because it knows that like Warwick Davis himself can't like push himself in a wheelchair that fast and stuff like that. So like in this instance, it's also like speeding up the bouncing and like what a stupid death.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so stupid. Like, actually, all the deaths are just really dumb.
Yeah. He pogo sticks him to death. He just kind of, like, bounces, and I'm guessing, like, crushes his rib cage and then internally destroys him.
It would be fine if, like, the pogo stick actually went through the chest.
Yeah.
But it never shows that. It just shows a man that's just, like, full of blood all over his face.
I know.
Which is the same thing that happens to Ozzy later. He's just, like, covered in blood, so it doesn't like really matter. So meanwhile, while that's happening,
they're at the diner.
Yeah, Hairdo and Jen are at the diner, and they're having like she's like, I don't eat meat, and he's like, you don't eat meat. Look.
Oh, he's like, here, you're too skinny. Okay, if anyone's skinny,
too.
Don't tell them they're skinny. They know they're skinny.
Right?
Don't be like, you're skinny, eat food.
This was a weird, like, kind of.
We know.
This was a weird message. Like they were trying to get some message across to the audience about like eat meat and stop being so thin or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand.
He's like, eat my meatloaf. I already chewed it and threw it up for you. It looked
gross.
disgusting,
It
and I
looks
love
so bad.
meatloaf. It looks bad.
No, meatloaf needs to be like drizzled with that ketchup on top.
Yes, the
right?
like the burnt caramelized ketchup on top. I love that shit.
Right? Not this. This was like just ground beef with gravy on top.
Yeah.
Like that's
We
not...
mixed ground beef, some garlic powder, and some breadcrumbs.
No.
Blech.
No. So anyway, pointless scene. Doesn't really establish their chemistry. Only establishes more
that he's really good at just ripping shoes off people.
Yep, and that she's kind of a horrible person.
Yeah,
like she's not. She is the typical L.A. or New Yorker that is disgusted by
I
everyone.
don't eat that cut up dead cow. That's terrible. And he's like, okay. And then all of a sudden she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And you don't really see anything. She's like, hey, no, stop. And it's like, is he like trying to get in her pants underneath the table?
Yeah,
and then he picks a shoe up.
What are you doing?
Like,
I have patches and holes that you can get into.
This shoe is the same. It's a dead animal as well. You shouldn't wear them. And she's like, yeah, it's leather, but it looks good. So, tomato.
So now at the pawn shop, there was a little tiny go-kart.
Oh, God.
That the Leprechaun
gets
his
whole portion
eye
was
on.
Unnecessarily long.
Okay, I am watching a routine traffic stop between a police officer and a little person in a go-kart in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he also he stole a bunch of
he stole
toys.
a bunch of stuff, but he didn't use any of it. I thought it was like, I'm going to use.
Well, wait,
this
he
thing
did. He did one. He did use one. He had the Fisher Price stethoscope and doctor kit bag for when he's like, let's do some surgery.
Yeah,
right. That was it. But none of that other stuff is used at all.
Let's play doctor.
Yeah, he just has it. So we're watching. And I mean, kudos to whoever wrote it. That the officer pretty much thought it was either a child or a little person in a mask, and you shouldn't be driving this go-kart around. I was like, okay, this is how I believe it would play out. And then it just goes off the rails out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I don't even remember what triggers the officer then being on the. He's running instead of being the one who's...
I don't either. I just remember, so the officer, gets chased around the woods, and then all of a sudden the officer kind of has a bloodied face, and then the officer is like, I don't know where he went, and then out of nowhere the officer is like, I don't know where he went, so he must be gone. I'm alive now.
Well...
And then he pops up and is like, you're dead.
Well, okay, because, he's being chased, and then... It turns, and then the officer's now chasing him, and he's basically can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man, right? And then at some point he scratches his face, and then the officer gets tired and kind of just is against a tree.
Yeah.
But then him against a tree goes on for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Just the camera's zooming in, and then it's another shot. It's just from the side profile,
more
and
tree.
then more zooming in, and I'm just this isn't suspenseful. I'm just looking at a poor, out-of-shape man.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, he drops down on him and sits on his shoulders, and they struggle for a second until he snaps his neck. And you're like, God, that was so anticlimactic. You're like, just, what are you, Steven Seagal, just snapping necks? It's just stupid.
Yeah. And then we flash over. Everyone's back at the house now.
Well... Before that, he basically gets back to the house and starts ransacking the house
looking for the gold, but then he finds all their shoes.
Yes.
And he puts them all on the kitchen table and then cleans them.
Starts cleaning them. He's got this weird shoe fetish.
Yeah.
Right? Also at this time he eats Lucky Clover's cereal, right? And immediately spits it out blah, what a piece of shit, right? And we'll get to the kind of the background, there's a really interesting background story to the Lucky Clover cereal that I'll wait till the end, the Hasta La Vista line of the movie. So now they get back, and this is where they kind of just see that the place has been ransacked, and then
like next scene, they literally walk out of the kitchen. They're like, glad the mess in the kitchen has been cleaned up. Yeah, the kitchen was a real mess, but we cleaned it up. It's literally like exposition. And then the movie keeps going.
The movie,
it's
so
just kind of like
at this point,
it's really like the rest of the movie is just like, leprechaun, bear traps,
okay.
gunshots.
Yeah. So basically, like, all right, at this point, the hunky McBeefsteak goes outside, right? And he gets his foot caught in a bear trap. And the leprechaun comes out and he's got a hatchet. He's like, let's looks like you've been hurt. Let's do some surgery.
Like, let's play doctor.
Right? And he screams and the rest of them come out and they aren't armed. So Alex goes inside and grabs the shotgun.
But they all have like pieces of wood and sticks and they're like trying to beat they all have like different tools to like beat the leprechaun.
Oh,
like,
this beating.
My turn.
This is where he's like punching him in the face with a flashlight. And a whole bunch of other stuff. They shoot him. He goes flying across. I love when he goes flying across because of across the scene due to a shotgun blast, which I think he gets shot like 4 to 5 times in this movie. Just full shotgun blast to the chest, to the head.
So he shoots him and he like lands in some bushes, and then the guy like keeps shooting the bushes.
Yeah.
It's like the guy, he's not in there. You know this.
Right.
Come on.
And then this is. I'm not exactly. I wrote on here like, I go, whoa! Jen dropped the F-bomb and it was out of left field.
Yeah, she's like, this is just so fucking stupid. Like, and I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, she goes, it really was a fucking leprechaun or something like that, and you're just like, what? Wait, what? Okay, that was weird. This whole movie didn't cuss until you just did, right? And then they go inside. They're trying to mend up. Beefsteak's wound.
And
God,
Jen,
what's his real name? Nathan? Is that what it was?
But Jen is like, she's like, do this, do that. Like, she's a real take charge. Which I was like, that's new character development.
Right?
Sure, didn't know she had that in her.
So they decide to get in the truck and try to get out of town.
But the truck won't start.
It won't start, and the leprechaun decides to go in the barn
where he has his own souped up.
He is like basically
wraith car.
it's literally Eartha Kitt from Ernest Scared Stupid made him a car.
Yeah,
like it's just welded metal together. I'm like, what happened to the other go-kart? Like the one that was like nice, and like, but this one just is a frame. So maybe he stripped it. Yeah. And he attached a pitchfork on it instead.
Which I thought he was going to stab into the side of the vehicle and stab people's legs. But instead, it's comedic. And the little car goes boop and touches this pickup truck. And the pickup truck does a full flip and lands back on like its feet. And they're all like, whoa, crazy.
And they escape the truck.
Yeah.
Right? Now, they basically, Alex reveals that like he wants his gold and we kind of hid his gold, and you need to, I guess, go and give him the gold, which we hid in the well. So she goes outside and she gives him the gold, and he like leaves him alone until he counts it, and then he realizes
97,
98, 99. Oh no,
99.
Now he's now he's Mario in my world.
No, oh no.
One more to an extra life.
Mamma
so
mia.
He's like, oh no, you don't have it. Now, I think it's revealed that Ozzy at this point is like, I ate the last thing, so I'm gonna go out there. And they're like, no, you're not. We're gonna find a different way.
Bitch, if that was you, I would have rolled you outside. I would have cut you open myself.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Come on, poop!
I know. I would have punched you till you shat your pants.
I just stuck a finger down your throat.
I don't have time in movies. If my life is ever going to be like a movie, I don't have time for you to hide the fact that you got bit by a zombie. I don't have time for you to hide the fact that you stole something.
Yep.
Like goddamn eggs from the raptors. You big
Oh
idiot.
yeah, part 3.
Like, if you're trying to do something and like be sly about it, it's always going to come back and bite you in the ass, especially if you got dinosaurs or a leprechaun.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Yeah, don't if
Zombies.
basically if you've stolen
Don't hide
anything
something
from
from
the
the group.
enemy,
Yeah.
like you need to give it back. Always give it back.
I would have pushed that big dummy right out the door,
yeah.
though. I would have kicked
Right?
him in the back of the head. I would have helped the leprechaun.
Or if you like find out that that person is like related to the monster, you just give them over
Yeah.
as a sacrifice.
Oh, it's your cousin. Here you go.
Right? He's my brother. Well, then he wants you.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want us,
The only reason they're here is because of you.
Guilty
then
by
you go out
association.
there.
right?
God, like, so mad.
Sigourney Weaver, the aliens are attracted to you.
It's your DNA. Wait, what? I've never seen that.
What, aliens?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's
I'm
just
kidding. No, I do
Oh,
know. I
okay.
know all about.
But they're not.
I know
really-
about every single movie that I've never actually
Right?
seen.
At least in the third one, it's like she can't die because she's hot. Spoiler:
'Cause she's hot.
Has one inside of her, so
Yeah.
it won't kill her. So I'd be like, I'm gonna stick around you.
Yeah.
You know, like
Ooh,
whatever
let's-
the key to
Let's
it is.
glue our palms of our hands together and say that we're one person. Yay!
Right.
Look, ooh, I can't die either.
Right? We're conjoined twins, alien. Look.
You draw like an alien on your belly. You're like, me too. Ooh, pregnant with an alien. Don't hurt me.
Oh, look, here's the face
Got like a
guy.
sock puppet.
Like, with a- yeah.
It's just a black sock. It's like, whoa, oh no, watch it come out of my belly. Wah! Crazy.
Look, here's the face hand hugger thing. Like he's all over me. Like he was just inside of me.
Yeah.
Don't kill
This
me.
is my child. We're all family. Woo. See you at the next reunion.
All right. I love what you do with your second mouth. Make sure you brush those teeth too. Anyway.
Oh my god. Gosh. So then they decide that they don't want Ozzy to die. I
Right.
don't think the rest of the town would have agreed, but
Nope.
whatever.
But
But they do find out that, and this all happens in like I was watching the movie, I was like, oh cool, 15 minutes left, like shit's gonna start happening and
Sure.
get wrapped up. Instead, they're like, we got to go down to the hospice care and meet Dan
this is
and
so
get
stupid.
the information about how to kill the leprechaun.
Because until this moment,
I thought he was
I
dead.
thought he was dead
Yeah.
too, right? I thought he died of the heart attack in the
I think they just
beginning.
realized they had no way to actually figure out the information, so
Right.
they're like, fuck, we gotta bring him back.
But what you said about if we researched the coin at the pawn shop and read that book that he had, maybe the coin would have said the entire lore of the leprechaun,
Yeah.
and how that would have been better.
Yeah, I
way
know.
better. Basically being
Oh no, the coins! We got to go back to the coin shop to get that one.
Right,
Ah.
exactly.
And then they're
there's
like,
one
"Oh, he's
inside
already
of
been
him,
here."
and there's one at the
Yeah.
shop, and we need to go collect them around town. And then also seeing his dead body and the page being open to that.
Yeah.
Boom. Way
Right.
better, right? Than this Dan O'Grady. Basically, they take all the shoes that they have in the house, and the leprechaun's outside, and they distract him from killing Jennifer Aniston by throwing the shoes out, and he's like, oh
And
no,
he's like,
it's dirty.
A scuff.
Oh,
Another scuff.
oh,
More
no.
scuffs.
He's polishing the shoes enough for her to get away, and this is where I just wrote he has a weird shoe cleaning fetish
Yeah.
in a harm. This is fucking stupid.
Dumb.
It was so stupid. I just all right. So she goes to the hospital and
She makes every single right turn and left turn possible.
and this is where they do close-ups on LA Gear shoes again.
Yeah.
Major close-ups, and they also do a close-up on this clipboard that has written on it
Room assignments.
numbers right? And you're like, oh, thanks for that. I couldn't
know.
have figured it out on my own. You know, clearly that's what she's looking for, where
Yeah.
this Dan O'Grady is, right? She goes there, and it's not Dan O'Grady. Of course, it's the leprechaun.
And
He's
he's-
dressed up as Dan O'Grady.
Starts wheelchairing after her, and she runs, and for some reason an elevator is a safe haven, even though the leprechaun can teleport.
Right. But has she seen that it can?
No.
Right. So, like, we have to give her the benefit of the doubt. But us, we go...
But why didn't he just teleport into the elevator?
Right.
Instead
of this, like, sped up Benny Hill footage of him, like... Because she's running in real speed, and all his footage is sped up.
Well, they actually... So for this scene, what they did is they tied 2 ropes to her waist, and then the other ends of the ropes to the wheelchair. And just had her run.
And like a horse?
They're like, high tech, I guess. Tie some fishing wire to her. They won't be able to see the strings.
I also don't understand because, like, it's sped up because obviously Warwick Davis can't, like, hand push himself
put a
like,
motor
easily.
on it. I don't know.
Put a motor on it, or literally just put it on a. It's filmed from almost the waist up. Like, you can see his feet, right?
Yeah.
Not dangling.
They're just like sitting at the very edge,
straight
of the,
and crossed, right? So clearly, you could either, like you said, put a motor on it, or the camera's obviously fixed to the wheelchair in some way so that it stayed steady. Like, just pull the wheelchair from back behind the camera's position. Like, I don't understand why.
Easy solutions.
Right? But then again, $900,000 budget.
Yeah,
so,
true.
But still, I could do that with, like, a rope attached to the wheelchair.
Pull.
Right? I do that with carpet dollies all the time when I don't want to carry them. So... While she's in the elevator, Dan O'Grady just kind of is like, now's the time to fall out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like all horror movies. Like, and he's like, don't worry about me. It's too late for me. But I have an entire monologue to say before I die. Right? And basically is like, I've got 4-leaf clovers growing by the well.
Go to the clover patch.
Right? Also,
the stupidest. The clover patch. Find a 4-leaf clover. He's allergic.
Get me some whiskey.
Yeah.
Some whiskey. A tall glass of it well.
So then she gets to her Jeep, her beep Jeep, and darts back to the house where everyone's just been sitting.
We skipped him following her on roller skates, too.
And crashing through a fence and having a perfect leprechaun-shaped cutout. Which sounds like an episode of like a cartoon, but this legitimately happens in the movie.
Yeah, or Gremlins 2.
Yeah.
Where the bat bursts out and it's the Batman signal. Yeah. Now, and once again, cannot understand, and I don't think they understood until like basically the end of production of being like, oh, this is a serious horror movie now.
Yeah.
And
do you think he got the roller skates from the pawn shop?
Ooh,
that would make sense.
Maybe. Not that it matters, though.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
It's just interesting to see a little person on roller skates.
Yeah. I was like, his balance.
Yeah.
And I think he was, too.
After that, she's like, this is where you said, like, they've spotlit the entire 4-leaf clover patch, and they're all digging in there. And the leprechaun...
she's digging in there.
Yeah.
The leprechaun comes up. She drives right up to it. And the leprechaun comes up and is like...
He goes,
good luck, bitch.
Well, he says something, right? He keeps saying things that I'm like, that's not a thing or a phrase, right? And this one, he goes, little girls shouldn't play with 4-leaf clovers. And I'm like, well, why? Like, there's no end to it. It's just like, no, they shouldn't because I don't like it.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I don't remember. I think Ozzy gets the 4-leaf clover.
No.
Yes, he does find it. He does find it.
Listen, this is what happens.
Listen.
So he's, I know. Listen to me, I'm right. So
Probably.
The leprechaun pops up. She's only out there looking for it alone, and then he chases her, and she runs off, and this is where she finds the dead cop.
Yes.
So she's almost about to get killed, but then they're all at the cop car, and they shoot the leprechaun, and they're like, hurry, let's go find a 4-leaf clover while he's down.
Okay.
And then... there's this, the little boy runs into the barn to set up a trap to catch the leprechaun, but the leprechaun's just watching the kid. And then we flash back over to the 4-leaf clover scene that's green lit. And Ozzy's like, you just have to believe that you'll be able to find a 4-leaf clover. And at that moment, I probably would have turned to him and just punched him in the face and been like, I don't want to fucking believe anything anymore.
Yeah, this isn't Tinkerbell, asshole.
No.
Right.
Ugh.
But yeah, and then they do... And they're still kind of running around for a while.
Well, they run to the barn because Alex is about to die. And so Ozzy Ozzy's like, you don't want him, you want me, because the leprechaun's literally about to shove Alex's head in a bear trap. And I was
that's
like,
right, because Ozzy
I don't
went
care about the
outside
kid.
to sacrifice himself finally, being like, take me, and like the coin in my... And this is where the leprechaun pulls off his like boot buckle.
Yeah,
and starts slicing him. Right?
I was like, okay, I guess.
I thought he was going to slash his stomach open and get the last coin.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
I was like, get to the point.
Do it, right? Instead, he's like slashing his face.
Yeah.
Right? But after the leprechaun dies, you see Ozzy's just like covered in like just as much blood as he was paint.
Ozzy was dying, right? He's dead, right?
Yeah, he was just. He looked like he
They
just
don't
got
make it
finished
clear.
murdering
Yeah.
someone.
Well, no, it doesn't make it clear if Ozzy dies or is just kind of like.
Well, all he's got
bleeding.
is actual face scrapes, but
Yeah.
he is covered in buckets of blood.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, and I'm not quite sure if this is how that would work. Like, but and why waste the last clover if you're not sure that this is how it works?
I thought you were gonna say, why waste a piece of gum?
Well, either one, really.
So Alex pulls out a piece of gum because Alex, for some reason, has the 4-leaf clover now because they were like, here, take this. We got to put it on the leprechaun.
Yeah.
Give it to the kid. Great. And Alex is like, oh, I have a piece of gum. I'll wrap the 4-leaf clover around it, and then I'll shoot the gum at the leprechaun. And like maybe the gum will make it stick to the leprechaun was my thought process. But he aims for the mouth. And he goes, what does he say?
He pulls back the slingshot and goes, fuck you, Lucky Charms, and then just shoots it into his mouth, and he melts like a gremlin.
He melts, though. He melts just like they did in
Yeah, here's a shot of like Ozzy.
Yeah.
Like he's dead. Like,
but the leprechaun melts like they do in Nukem High.
Yep.
I was like, okay, cool. It's a melting theme this month.
Well, you've seen Gremlins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the final gremlin that gets by the sunlight.
Yeah.
And melts into the fountain. It's the exact same thing, like look and everything.
Jeez,
like you
yeah.
can see the skeletal structure and the eyes are popping out.
I think it was just like a of the times is like that trick was like a good trick. And they were like, let's
because
use it again.
basically it was like we can make a puppet out of wax with like the skeleton bone structure, just like the end of Indiana Jones with the face melting, right? And then we'll literally heat it up, superheat it with like a blow dryer, like a superheated blow dryer, like for shrink wrap, because that's what they do. And then watch the wax melt off, and then speed it up.
Yeah.
And that's what they would do. So yeah, cool trick, I guess, but like
I like it.
yeah, no,
But it's overused.
probably the best effect in the movie. But
of course he's a leprechaun, so he melts a little bit green, but then he just kind of falls backwards inside the well, and they're like, woo!
he melts more and falls into the well than when he comes back up for like one last, like, I'll be back.
He comes back up, and he looks like he's now like mutated.
Half of that, yeah.
Yeah, he's a different leprechaun at that point. His like mouth is bigger, and well, I guess his cheeks were burned away.
Right.
But
So you ready for the famous line trivia?
yeah,
Fuck you, Lucky Charms, basically. Here's the story on that. Ready? One scene required the leprechaun to find and eat Lucky Charms cereal, which the company gave them permission to do. Upon seeing the finished film, the company was displeased and would not allow them to use the scene. The filmmakers had the choice of either cutting the scene or to reshoot it, costing them more money. They chose to reshoot it, replacing the brand name with an obvious spoof of the name brand cereal, and made one last additional surprise ending scene while they were filming. Furious with the cereal company for making them reshoot the scene, they pulled the kid character aside and had him say a new line. His line, "Your luck just ran out," was changed to "Fuck you, Lucky Charms," an obvious reference to the whole ordeal.
well,
It's out of place,
yeah,
and the Lucky Charms scene is unnecessary.
yeah.
So if you chose to spend and waste money...
You know that was like one person on crew that was like, we have to do it.
Right.
I feel really strongly about this.
That
And
was
everyone's
more of
"All
like,
right."
that was a dig.
Yeah.
Like, let's waste money and refilm this as a dig, because him searching the
'Cause
house...
fuck General Mills.
Him searching the house did not need
Yeah.
the Lucky Charms reference for
No,
it to...
it's like a 2-3 seconds
it's
throwaway.
a bit.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe the bit was better when it was Lucky Charms. Maybe he said something like, these aren't my Lucky Charms, like something, but like it doesn't matter, right? And the fact that your luck just ran out is the catchphrase on the taglines that we wrote. Like now that doesn't apply.
Yeah.
It doesn't apply as well at all, right? And you just made a kid cuss for no reason, honestly. Just for your own stupid, shitty movie.
So the leprechaun comes back up at the top of the well, and he's like, "I'm not done." And Four Arms is like, I guess he like shoots him again, or he like kicks him into the well, and then gets like a canteen of gasoline and dumps it all down the well and lights it on fire, and it blows up. And then for some reason, Ozzy's like, "Did I do something?" Or he's like, "I did something smart, didn't I?" And they're like, "You sure did." And I don't even know what he did.
You're still not getting that operation.
What did he do that was smart?
I don't know, distracted him?
All right, well, shoes distract him, so
yeah.
there's that. And then the cops show up finally, somehow, and it's over.
Yeah. That's really it.
Kind of a quick one.
Right?
Quick
That's it.
film. Yeah.
So, yeah. You got any W's?
Yeah, no, I a Halloween movie. Like if you're ever having a movie night with friends, I do like this film. I think it's good.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's cheesy, it's campy, but
on St. Patrick's Day party, it goes into the mix. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly sure that I enjoyed it. I actually after so much years of knowing it existed but skipping it, it's just I skipped Wishmaster back in the day that we did, and was like, how did I miss this? I skipped this, and I'm like, I didn't miss anything.
Like,
Nope. So yeah, I can't say that I would recommend this one. Maybe the later ones when they're now in on the joke, that's where it's going to be fun. This one, I feel like didn't know what it wanted to be yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's why I kind of want to watch Leprechaun Origins and see the 2014 kind of
it's kind of like a remake.
It's a prequel, I believe.
Okay.
Ish. Or it could be a remake prequel. There's too many things. It could be a prequel to the first one, but a modern day, which I don't know what that would be. Do you have any alternate titles?
Not really this week. We've had an extremely busy week with our guests from last week with Lloyd Kaufman and everything. So this was that, and I've been drinking a lot. I mean, it's St. Paddy's Day, so I don't really have any that worked. That the whole Luck of the Irish thing didn't already. Did you have anything?
Green, mean, tiny thing.
Green, mean, tiny thing.
Because he's like a leprechaun, but he also has enough of his own rules to where he's not an actual leprechaun.
There was one. There was Aaron Go Blah. So what do you want? Like, I literally just came up with that on the fly and pretended like I had it prepared. No, but I did prepare a couple of 10 out of 10s on IMDb. Mm-hmm. All right, so it's 10 out of 10s, but ladies and gentlemen, some people have a difference of opinion than we do, and they don't believe that it's a bomb like we do. So once again, it's time for Gimme 5. Here we go. So these are all on IMDb, right? So Domino 11491-1 writes in 2006, I think some people hate this movie because they expected way too much out of it than what it really is. I know this movie isn't worth a 10, so why did he give it a 10? I don't know. It's not even close, but this movie wasn't made to be remembered as a Godfather-type movie. It was made, in my opinion, for laughs. Though there's a few gory and scary scenes, but that's what most people miss about this movie and the whole series. It wasn't made to win all kinds of awards, but as a movie to sit back and enjoy yourself and enjoy an awesome villain. Parentheses, the best in my opinion. If you watch this movie with a mindset that it's not going to be great, you'll enjoy it a lot more. That's not, but you shouldn't. That's not a 10 out of a 10 worthy review, mind you.
It's like, it was bad, but like a fun bad. So it's like, that's probably like a 6 or a 7.
Right. Sports fan writes January 2000, 10 out of 10, Where's Me Gold Coin is the title. This movie is cool. I've never laughed so hard in my life. There were some great lines in the movie, but the best was, Where's Me Gold Coin?
I feel like that person walks around just saying that.
I can't wait for the next Leprechaun movie to be released later in 2000. Ireland forever. 10 out of 10.
I don't think Ireland wants to be associated with the
Not
movies.
at all. 2 more and we're dead. Okay?
We're dead? What?
Yeah, 2 more and we're dead. So, quite simply, this is written by Andy J. Nelson, 2003, written in 2005. Title, With Friends Like These.
Huh.
Quite simply, the best moment of Jen Aniston's career, a near-perfect horror comedy, far funnier than anything Friends can offer. If only the little fellow could be let loose on the set with this pogo stick. As for the mention by another viewer about certain spiders not being resident to the area, consider it an escaped pet and quite being pedantic.
I think they were trying to say quit.
Yeah, they are trying to say quit. Thank you. Yeah, I was like, I have to keep reading quite, and it doesn't make sense.
Oh, I'm so good at reading mistakes.
Good call. Strange you should point that out, yet accept leprechauns for real? ... like a whole bunch of dots, right? And then I've said all I have to say, ... 10 lines minimum, ... What a dumbass idea. 10 stars.
Okay.
The raging manic of some people online is probably why I love this bit as much as I do.
I need everyone to know.
I know, right? And then the last one done by Dark Shumi Fan. 10 out of 10, an absolute horror classic. I try not to rate movies on IMDb based on entertainment value, but on how good of a film they are.
Which films are entertainment values? That's literally like, I don't try to rate films on being films, but I'm rating this film on being a film. That guy's an idiot.
Wait. And Leprechaun is an absolutely horrendous film. Dismal supporting cast, not even remotely scary, claustrophobic setting, though some would argue that's not a bad thing. In Leprechaun's case, however, I have to make an exception. This is one of the most entertaining movies you will ever watch. In this first installment of the series, most of it is unintentional, but you'll laugh regardless. There are so many classic moments in this film you can't count. Particularly...
because there are none. Can't count them because there are none.
Particularly when the leprechaun first gets on the roller skates and can't skate worth a dime and crashes, but then gets up and skates off as if he's been skating for 20 years. Or when he rolls a pickup truck using a go-kart and pitchfork. The hilarity never stops. 10 out of 10, A+.
Jesus.
Thanks, Dark Shuby fan.
Yeah.
I love how the things that he quotes are an hour 15 into the movie.
I know.
Yeah, that's it. That is the Leprechaun. That is all we found on it. That's all the trivia. That's everything. I hope everybody had an excellent St. Paddy's Day. Everybody stay tuned for next week. We're going to have Maximum Overdrive, Stephen King's one and only directed film, starring Emilio Estevez and a whole bunch of, not quite sure, demon-possessed or alien-possessed or whatever. They don't ever explain it, but a bunch of machinery
Don't ruin it.
and trucks that are going to chase people down and kill them.
I think I have seen this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I
have.
It was always on like network television back in the day because there's no real blood or gore, so they could basically show it very uncut, other than cuss words. And then after the week after that, it's our 50th episode ever, and we're going to be celebrating it with the owner and operator of our home here, the Frida Cinema, Mr. Logan Crow, and we'll be doing the Robin Williams classic disaster Popeye.
I am what
Right?
I am, what I am, what I am, what I am.
And then after that, we're going to celebrate April Fool's Day with 1980's April Fool's Day. And we'll
Gotcha.
also, right? And Popeye and April Fool's Day will be screened here at the Frida Cinema, so get your tickets now. We'll post a link when this episode is out so that you can join us for these screenings, and hopefully that'll lead to eventual live shows. So make sure you participate in these screenings, because it's the bad films that the Frida here needs to see that are actually getting ticket sales that will eventually lead us to be able to give you a live show and entertainment. So please, if you're in the Southern California area and you got nothing to do, come on down. Even if you have something to do, come on down and buy a ticket and check out these awesome movies that we have screening, very much in our theme, in our wheelhouse. You can also, if this is your first time listening, please make sure you rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Bombs Away Show. You can write to us, email, contact@bombsawayshow.com, and we always love letters in the mail and things like that as well. People have been sending some really awesome things lately. Very surprising every time we see it. So make sure, if you really want to send something out to us, we love it, and we'll shout you out on the shorties. You can send anything to the Frida Cinema, care of Bombs Away. And that is at 305 East 4th Street, Santa Ana, California. Or just look up the Frida Cinema address on Google. Got anything to promote, Jarett? Anything to say?
No.
No. Great. Awesome. Well, we'd like to thank everybody who came out also to the premiere of Return to Nukem High last week.
Yeah.
Thank you for anybody who joined us for that. And we thank anybody who's been sharing this episode or any of the past ones. Keep it up. We're really, really starting to see the numbers fly. So thank you. Thank you so much to the listeners. Thank to anybody who keeps giving us great feedback. Remember to give the feedback on our social networks and things like that. Don't text us anymore.
If you get mad at us for something, we can't fix it
That's right.
unless you let us know.
Absolutely.
And I don't read text messages.
Right. So that just about does it for us. Thank you once again for listening. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jarett.
And fuck you, Lucky Charms. Hey guys, John here from the Bombs Away podcast, and I'm here to talk to you about the place where we record. That's right, the Frida Cinema. What is the Frida Cinema? Well, it's a program of the Long Beach Cinematheque here in California, and it serves Santa Ana and neighboring communities as a non-profit art house cinema dedicated to enriching, connecting, and educating communities through the art of cinema. But it's so much more than that. Guys, not only do they screen amazing films here, but they also hold out-of-this-world special events. And when we're talking about special events, we're talking about shadow casting. Shadow casting, if you don't know, is where actors perform in front of the movie that you're seeing, and they have costumes, and they're doing audience participation, and it is just an amazing event. The shadow casting that we do here is films such as Rocky Horror, or Little Shop of Horrors, or Repo the Genetic Opera, or even The Forbidden Zone. Wow, The Forbidden Zone. Like, when's the last time you saw that? Or maybe shadow casting isn't your thing, but what about rooftop cinemas? That's right. Right on our rooftop, we do special screenings of throwback movies that you love, including Ghostbusters, or the current Beauty and the Beast, Guardians of the Galaxy, or even Jurassic Park. And that's not the only thing with these rooftop cinemas. They also have special people that show up, special guests, including the Orange County Ghostbusters and their vehicles and their costumes, or maybe Jurassic Park and the Jurassic Park Jeep. You ever gotten a photo with any of these things? I have, and it's because I was there at these events. So if you're looking for special events to go to, or like out of this world, just crazy audience participation things like Scott Pilgrim and with lights and sound and like things that you've never even seen before, go to the Frida Cinema. You can check out the Frida Cinema locations, filming, schedules, and everything entertainment-wise at www.thefridacinema.org. Or you can follow them on Facebook at facebook.com/thefridacinema and on Instagram and Twitter at The Frida Cinema. The Frida Cinema, for the filmmakers, for the film goers, and for you.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb, what's your bright idea?